What is Scooby? Welcome back to After the Snap. I'm your host, Tasha Pierce. And I want to come back with a few more AstroWorld updates. I'm keeping these separate from my regular videos because some people get distressed by the topics that we have been covering, especially the one that I hate to have to report today. Um, it's apparent that as of tonight, young Ezra Blount, the 9-year-old who was fighting for his life on life support and in the hospital, has succumbed to his injuries. Going to share a screen of his of a news report that was talking about the tragic death of young Ezra Blount. Let's see. Yeah, it broke my heart. I don't know if you can even tell. I'm literally just waking up. I woke up and something said, check the news. And I looked, and a couple hours ago, it had been reported. So ain't no going back to sleep after that. You know, this child has lost his life. There's no going back to sleep for me. I'm up now. So I said, if I'm up, I might as well get to work. We will, and I hope this comes across where you guys can hear it. I'm going to go ahead and hit play on this thing.
Breaking tonight, the death toll from last week's AstroWorld Festival has risen to 10. 9-year-old Ezra Blount has died. The Blount family attorney, Benjamin Crump, confirming Ezra's passing to KPRC 2 News this evening.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, you guys. I just messed up. Silly me. I don't want to mess this up, though, because we're talking about it, this baby. Go to Chrome tape. Here. Let's see. Gonna try it again.
Breaking tonight, the death toll from last week's AstroWorld Festival has risen to 10. 9-year-old Ezra Blount has died. The Blount family attorney, Benjamin Crump, confirming Ezra's passing to KPRC 2 News this evening. Thank you for joining us. I'm Sion Rhodes.
And I'm Brandon Walker. Ezra was trampled at the AstroWorld Festival after falling from his father's shoulders. He fought to live. His family tells us doctors placed him on a ventilator. Ezra's name now added to the list of lives lost. You're looking now at the pictures of those 9 people who died, Ezra now being 10. KPRC2's Bill Barajas is live at the makeshift memorial near NRG Park. And Bill, Ezra's family says that he suffered multiple injuries, including swelling of the brain.
Well, just heartbreaking news tonight. And those injuries you mentioned, a result of being trampled. His name will now be added to the list of victims, which is on display here at this growing memorial just outside NRG Park. He is the youngest of all 10 victims. The family's attorney, Ben Crump, confirming to us his passing just a few hours ago. Little Ezra has been in the hospital since the night of the festival. His family telling KPRC he was on a ventilator and brain dead. According to family, little Ezra was on his father's shoulder during the show, but was trampled along with his dad when his father collapsed due to the crowd surge. Little Ezra had swelling of the brain and suffered injuries to his liver and lungs. The family's attorney, Ben Crump, who has previously filed a lawsuit alleging negligence relating to crowd control, failure to provide proper medical attention, hiring, training, supervision, and retention, which he claims led to little Ezra's death, released a statement saying in part, quote, Ezra's death is absolutely heartbreaking. We are committed to seeking answers and justice for the Blount family, but tonight we stand in solidarity with the family in grief and prayer. And Houston Mayor Sylvester Turner also tweeting out the news just a couple of hours ago, saying in part, I am saddened to learn of Ezra's death this evening. Our city tonight prays for his mom, dad, grandparents, other family members, and classmates at this time. Live for now at NRG Park, Bill Barajas, KPRC.
How terrible.
2 News.
How flipping terrible. That was the report out of Houston at the hospital where young Ezra Blount became the 10th victim to die after the AstroWorld tragedy. Last week, we saw the 9th victim Barty and Ezra were the only two victims to have died after the night of the event. And then as if that's not heartbreaking enough, I guess where I'll go next is we've got some ignorant folks calling on the parents of Ezra Blount to be charged for his death. And I guess their reason being is that he should not have been at this festival. And while I might have issue with that child being at the festival, especially since his dad, Tristan, said that he was a big Travis Scott fan, and I do have an issue with someone as young as little Ezra being a fan of Travis Scott. This ain't the time for that bull. Read the room. No, these parents should not be charged, because it would have been worse if they would have gone to the festival themselves and left little Ezra at home to fend for himself, and he would have died there. That would have been their fault. They had their child with them in the place that they were. They did not expect this crowd to act like a bunch of flipping barbarians, act like they have never been to a concert before. I'm flabbergasted at how people have become that insensitive. Not only the insensitivity, the entitlement of people. Those people who rushed and ran, they feel like they didn't have to wait in line. They were entitled to go to see Travis Scott, and that is not, that ain't true. We are entitled to be at the front. That's not real. That's not realistic. Stand your ass still. Just watch the concert. This was not the parents' fault that this stampede occurred. Technically, I wouldn't even say that it's that the people who did the stampeding, they weren't even influenced by anybody but themselves. However, the safety of the crowd was up to Travis Scott, his production team, the organizers of this event, and that is the only way that I say Travis Scott is even at fault here, because it's obvious that there were a bunch of lapses in all of the protocols that you need to address before putting on an event of this magnitude. He dropped the ball. So I can't say for certain whether he had encouraged this crowd to be rowdy. I do know that he encouraged crowds in the past to be rowdy, and maybe that's enough, that whole rage mentality. But these people, if we could put a face to some of the people who rushed the crowd, I think they should be charged as well. Not the parents of Ezra Blount, who had him to the father, had him in the safest place that he could have his little kid. Outside of the fact that he may have not should have been at this concert, he had him on his shoulders. He didn't expect what occurred to occur. In fact, Tristan Blount has also stated that he stayed towards the back because he felt like, it's probably safer and calmer to be in the back. I don't know what more he could have done short of not going to the concert. And again, I can understand some people saying, hey, I would have never taken my kid. This wasn't your kid. This ain't your kid. I wouldn't have taken mine either, but this wasn't my child. This is Tristan's child. He did what he did for his child, but he did not intend for his child to die at this event. And I think it's rather ignorant for folks to be making this type of statement so closely after this child passes away, and also making it political. There is an entire different faction of people who are saying, oh, more people died at this AstroWorld Fest than died on January 6th. Who fucking cares? Loss of life in these situations where people are acting like freaking animals, January 6th, and at the Travis Scott concert, that the loss of life in either one of these places is too much. It's too much. Guess you could tell I'm a little riled up. It's 3 o'clock in the morning and I'm up and fired up because I cannot believe the insensitivity of people when a family is suffering a loss, not just one family, 10 families suffered a loss, hundreds more were injured. And then we find out that the venue only had a $26 million liability insurance policy. This is coming to us from TMZ. And as much as I hate using them as a source, this is pretty much a safe bet that this is right. I've seen it reported in multiple places. The venue only had $26 million in liability insurance. It's not going to even be close to being enough to cover the potential judgments. This came out, of course, on November 9th from TMZ, and this today is the 15th. So it's been widely reported at this point. So NRG Park, the venue that hosted the calamitous AstroWorld Festival, has an insurance policy totaling $26 million, nowhere near what the injured and the families of the dead will be seeking. So TMZ obtained the certificate of liability insurance. That's a document that was filed with the city of Houston. Proof of insurance is required for such events. The policy provides for $1 million in primary coverage with $25 million under the umbrella, with 8 dead, 300 injured. Damages are going to go into the hundreds of millions of dollars, and $26 million just ain't gonna cut it. NRG is going to be responsible for anything above the policy limit, and you can be guaranteed that it is going to far exceed $26 million. So NRG Park is going to be on the hook for the rest of that. Now, again, TMZ is saying that it's possible the NRG had additional coverage, but they had not found any evidence that that was the case. We don't know what insurance policies were carried by Live Nation or Travis Scott. You know that they got to have some type of coverage, but whatever it is, when you total it all together, it's probably not going to cover what's got to be astronomical judgments that's going to be coming their way. The injured can get judgments. The family of the dead can get judgments. The policies are going to cover them as far as the money goes. But once that limit is reached, Travis Scott, NRG, Live Nation, probably the people who were supposed to provide security, all of those companies would be personally on the hook for the balance. And bankruptcy is going to be a possibility in some of these cases. We know that it could become a lifelong management, even just for the mental health aspects of this thing. It could require lifelong management. And Travis Scott is not going to have it. He is not going to have it. I don't know what his net worth is. I've heard a whole bunch, of different numbers, but it's nowhere near $1 billion. He's not Kylie Jenner even. The lawsuits are piling up. So these policies could mean the difference between the various defendants being shielded from personal liability and bankruptcy. And I'm thinking that a lot of these, maybe not all of these companies, the companies are probably going to be in a better position than Travis Scott, but it is going to be an astronomical loss for all of these companies financially, and good for them. Good for them. Because they gambled with people's life. You took a chance on the fact that things would be okay at this Travis Scott concert. Uh, things would be okay at this AstroWorld Fest, when even in the past, I'm learning that people had always stormed those barricades. They had always ran over what was put up, the metal detectors and that sort of thing. Let's just think about this, how much worse it could have gotten. But all those people who rushed in like a freaking bunch of rabid animals. If they had weapons, if they had anything that wasn't supposed to be carried into NRG Stadium for this festival, because they rushed the security, they did not get checked. That could have been an even worse situation, especially here in Texas where everybody has a gun. It could have been a whole lot worse. Um, it's bad enough without even thinking of all the other what ifs. But the fact that you guys knew that this is a pattern of behavior at these concerts. Travis Scott has made it apparent that he likes the whole raging uh, atmosphere at his concerts. His fans oblige him by raging when he on upon demand. He can have them rage and do all kinds of wild shit. Um, yeah, he could have controlled that situation the same way he could tell his crowd to rage and to get wild and storm the stage and beat this mother effer's ass because he tried to steal my shoe. Yeah, that happened. I'm not going to share all those videos. I did watch them though. That happened. Somebody tried to steal my shoe, beat his ass. If you can get your audience to do those sorts of things, then you can get them to quiet the fuck down so that you can understand what's happening in your crowd. A part of me thinks that what he heard on stage could have been more of the or less of the stop the show and more of just crowd noise. But again, somebody should have shown better judgment in that moment and stopped everything, so we wouldn't be sitting here talking about a 9-year-old and a 22-year-old added to a list of people who passed away from 14 to 27 years old. This is a young bunch of victims, and it is it was completely avoidable. It was completely avoidable. Now, there are other Travis Scott fans. I guess what I've done tonight is looked up a whole lot of shit that was just going to piss me off and put it to where I can't go back to sleep. I don't know why I dug into the rabbit holes that I did. Uh, Travis Scott fans are on taking to Twitter saying, leave Travis Scott alone. I'm sick of hearing about AstroWorld. Tell that to the parents of those 10 people who will never go home again. Tell that to the people who sustained injuries, both physical and mental. Tell that to them. Tell them to leave Travis Scott alone. You tired of hearing about it. Tell them that. Because for the rest of their lives, this is going to be etched in their memory. I wouldn't even go to a freaking concert again. I don't think I would be able to go to a freaking concert again. Then we have the calls to boycott brands associated with the Kardashians. I'm not getting it. I can understand if you said Chloe, what is her name? Kylie Jenner. I can understand if you said her. She is directly related to Travis Scott. They have children together. They are in a relationship. So I can see possibly why you would say, you know what, just cancel doing business with companies that are sponsoring Kylie Jenner and Travis Scott. But the entire Kardashian clan, I think um, I don't think it is fair to them, even though I'm not a fan of the Kardashians. Now let's put that on the record. I don't like any of them. Not a single one of them, except for the little kids. Little kids ain't did nothing wrong. But all of the sisters and the mom and all that, they doing too much. They are very they're attention whores. And I don't have a whole lot of use for attention whores. So and I'm not calling these ladies whores. I'm saying that they whore for they like attention. They like they like to have their name just out there. What we say when we first met Kim Kardashian, she's famous for being famous. That's the kind of branding they have, and I mean, much like a lot of the other celebrities that like to keep their name in popular rotation because all publicity, I guess, is good publicity to them. So I'm not a fan of none of the Kardashians. Do not get me wrong. But I'm also not a fan of holding people responsible for something that had nothing to do with it. And the rest of that family had absolutely nothing to do with this case, with with the deaths that occurred at AstroWorld. Many of them weren't even there. I think maybe Kylie and Kendall were the ones that were present, along with, I believe, Travis and Kylie's little daughter. Um, I don't think the rest of the family should be penalized just for being related to somebody that a tragedy occurred to. Let me see, so I don't sound like that I'm caping for this dude. I don't think that he should be penalized for the rest of his life, unless it's going to take the rest of his life to continue to keep these families financially covered who are going to need it. They're going to need the financial help forever, forever. This is a scarring situation. I'm pretty sure there will be some people who have a PTSD behind this thing. That's lifelong. So Travis Scott should be penalized financially. Um, I don't think that criminal charges against Travis Scott is going to solve anything, especially when there have been other deadly concert events that didn't end up in criminal charges for the artists. And one of the things that come to mind is that the Woodstock '99, and another one that comes to mind is way back, going back to 1979, the Who concert in Cleveland, Ohio. So those are things. If you wanted to start arresting people and giving them criminal charges for having these types of tragedies at their events, it could have started back then. I'm afraid of what the optics are if you start it right now, if you get what I'm saying. A lot of it was within Travis Scott's control, meaning he could have he should have had a better team around him. One of the things that I was hearing, and again, I am telling you, I'm not telling you guys stuff that I think. I'm telling you stuff that I know. I just did not have any articles prepared for right now because it was so impromptu. I literally just woke up, saw this child had passed away, and got pissed off. After feeling super sad, I got super pissed. So I needed to just like kind of clear my mind and get some thoughts in the air, and that's why I'm here. Um, and I don't know what I was saying before. I don't know what I was saying before I was telling you guys why I'm even up. Excuse me. Like barely up. I'm up though. Shoot, I'm up. It just pissed me off. 9 years old, with his whole life ahead of him, and this little baby is gone. Family won't be the same. Parents, grandparents, if he had siblings, friends, life is not about to be the same. Yeah, the show, of course, what we say is the show was the Travis Scott part of this concert was probably a bit much for some of the young folks that were there, but that didn't mean that they went there to die. Oh gosh, it's so freaking terrible. And I think about Barty Shahani, whose parents say that she never asked for anything, and then she passed away as well. I'm looking for something as I am scrolling because it was something that I wanted to say, and I wanted to be reminded what I was thinking of. So I'm looking through Twitter, and I guess I can share that screen with you so you guys can be just as confused as I am about about what the hell I'm looking for. Yeah. So here's this one comment. Can we just stop talking about AstroWorld? Leave my boy alone. Are you for real? Are you for real? Ma Dukes, something wrong with you. Something is wrong with you. Yeah, this baby, look at his little face. Oh, it's so freaking heartbreaking. This child is gone. Yeah, but there's a lot of making this about the Kardashians. This is not about the Kardashians. The only thing that the Kardashians can do and probably be decent is out of their immense wealth, start a fund for these people. If we want them to do anything, it won't hurt them to each put up $5 million. That I can see, if they want to be helpful, that I can see them, do that, be helpful. But this is not their fault. This ain't on them. This is on Travis Scott. Then there's this. Oh, this is like this is talking about a whole different Travis. These are so freaking silly people. They want Kourtney Kardashian to exhibit the fact that they're in mourning. Again, Kourtney Kardashian, the only thing that she's done wrong is be related to Kylie Jenner. This had nothing to do with her. Now, some of these people I don't remember. Here are the victims. Okay. We got a whole little montage of the victims here. And of course, Ezra Blount being the youngest. The next was John Hilgard. He was a 14-year-old. Then there was Brianna Rodriguez. She was 16. Jake Juranek was 20. Franco Patino, 21. I can't see this name. Axel Acosta Ayala was 21. Barty Shahani, 22. Madison Dubinsky, 23. Buddy Pena, 23. Danish Beige. I hope I'm saying his last name right. He was the oldest of the ones who passed away at 27. Gosh, it's freaking terrible. I don't know. Let me know in the comments what you think of this tragedy at AstroWorld. The fallout continues. What do you think about this mountain, this litany of lawsuits that Travis Scott, Live Nation, NRG Stadium, all of these different entities are facing? What is currently over 200 lawsuits that have been filed. Many of them had been filed by Ben Crump, who is a prolific civil rights attorney. So there are, I guess there's a lot going on still. There's still a lot of moving parts. Things are still kind of fluid. Things are still moving so rapidly that it's hard to keep up. I'm not trying to keep up day by day. I am going to continue to do these updates until we get to a point where the updates are no longer necessary. This was a big one for me. I really, I really had hope that that child would make it. I really had hope. The resiliency of children, I thought that he would be better equipped to bounce back than maybe our older victims, even though even they were young. Even they were young. All of them were young enough to be my child. All of them. And it's freaking sad. It's freaking sad. I am so brokenhearted for the family of Ezra Blount, for the family of Barty Shahani, for all the families, for all the people affected by this tragedy. I'm going to continue to try to respectfully cover what's going on without being exploitive. There's a lot of exploiting going on of this tragedy where people are basically using it as just a way to drum up content. This isn't content, but it is news, and we should have a discussion on where we are right now. What should we expect moving forward? What can we do differently as a society to keep things like this from happening? Nobody else should ever die at a concert, at a festival, not because of people acting like caged beasts that just got let out. And I'm still I'm rotating in my mind, like, what was the point that I was going to make a little while ago? I can't find it. I can't figure it out. So I'm going to leave it at that. Thank you for joining me tonight. If you have not yet done so, please do me the honor of subscribing to my channel, hitting the notification bell, and liking this video if you liked it. Generally, this is an entertainment news channel, and I do movie reviews, series recaps, that kind of thing. But when it's time to be serious and have a conversation, I think we should take that moment to do so, to make sure that we are keeping one another informed and making sure that this type of shit don't happen no more. Anywho, I've got nothing else. I appreciate you for hanging out with me tonight, or this morning, whichever, because it could go either way. And I'll be back with more on the AstroWorld tragedy as it comes available. See you in the next video. Peace.